Hello, EduMagicians. Welcome to the EduMagic podcast with your host, Dr. Sam Fesich. Dr. Sam is a professor of education, author of EduMagic, and a pumpkin spice latte fan. This podcast is designed for pre-service teachers. Remember, friends, teaching doesn't begin at graduation, but during that first class at 8 a.m. Let's get this party started.
Hi, I'm Batsheva Frankel from Overthrowing Education, a part of the Education Podcast Network, just like the show you're listening to now. Shows on the network are individually owned and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other interesting education podcasts at edupodcastnetwork.com.
Hey EduMagicians, it's Sam, and before we start into this episode, I want to share with you about an amazing resource. It's called the Educator Candidate Member Portal. AAEE provides you with resources such as virtual job fairs, a job board, interview tips and prep, resume building, webinars. You can even get a copy of the Job Search Handbook digitally. So head on over to aaee.org and create your free Educator Candidate Member account today. Hello, friends, and welcome back to another episode of the EduMagic podcast. My name is Dr. Sam Fesich, and today I have with me Stephan Hughes, who is the co-founder and co-moderator of NT2T, a Twitter chat for new teachers to Twitter. He's a blogger, a teacher trainer, a speaker, a Microsoft Innovative Educator expert, an EdTech specialist. Stephan, is there anything that you don't do related to educational technology? Because you have amazing stuff listed.
Oh, thank you, Sam. Well, I don't know what I don't do yet. Maybe work with other tools like Flipgrid and Nearpod, but I love stuff. I love working with technology, so that's okay.
Yes, educational technology really does help make the impossible possible for our students, our teachers, and our leaders. Stephan, before we get into our conversation today, you're going to lead us through about the importance of Twitter chats, what they are, how we can get involved. Can you share with us your teaching journey and your teaching story? What got you started in education? What's your current role? And we'll start chatting about Twitter chats.
Well, it started way back about 24 years ago, right? I'm originally from Trinidad and Tobago, right? Twin Island Republic in the Caribbean. And I moved down to Brazil to do some studies here to take my majors in Portuguese and other languages. And ended up staying on here for other stuff, to do my master's, currently do my PhD in applied linguistics, working with corpus studies, corpus linguistics, and so on, right? So, but working with something that I love, which is Twitter as well. So my experience has been working with, teaching English as a foreign language or second language, and basically working a lot with teachers. So I've been doing a lot of teacher training all of these years. I've always ended up having roles of either coordinator or, advisor, some kind of advising role where I would provide support for other teachers. So this is something that I guess I took on as a role. I assumed it as a role. And then with I did a lot of postgraduate courses and lectures for these programs with educational technology. That's why I started with Twitter and get connected to other people on Twitter. That's where it all began, actually.
I like that. I like that you're training other teachers, you're raising up that you're a teacher trainer, and you're really passionate about Twitter. Now, why Twitter? Why should our future teachers listening today, why should they get connected on Twitter?
Yeah, I think even before the whole, let's say, big move that politicians and government institutions have moved into Twitter right now, I think it has become the place for a lot of conversation, right? A lot of noise as well, right? There's a lot of noise, a lot of clutter. It's messy, but I think it's still worth it in terms of finding connections with other people as a soundboard, as building what they call the professional learning network, right? A PLN, where you can connect with other people, meeting people. I met you, I met a lot of other educators that would only have happened through Twitter. And the fact that I decided using Twitter, that was in 2013, is where it started, 2013. I decided just to send a message out to see if I would get somebody to talk about, connecting with other teachers. Because we started a course for educational technology, and I wanted to show teachers, well, why not let's try to connect with people around the world. And I wanted to give them a real example. So I sent a message. I said, anybody willing to talk to us, meet us at 4 p.m. Brazilian time. We want to talk. And Julie Shai came up. She said hello. And that was when that's when everything kind of started. And then I kept talking with her. And we said, well, why don't we just do something? Let's maybe start a chat for other teachers with that. And that's where it started of, using Twitter chats. And there are many other chats out there that work around different hashtags, different topics, different groups. So I kind of define chats like communities of learning where people come just to exchange ideas, and it is very horizontal. It's basically people talking to people. There's no hierarchical thing of, oh, I'm the director, you're the teacher, I'm the trainer. Everybody's just sharing. So the idea of you getting and rubbing shoulders virtually with other names, people who are known or not so known, but talking about your experiences and learning from each other. That's what it is.
Absolutely. I think one of the biggest things in Twitter chats are kind of those side conversations that go along with the main questions that are asked during a Twitter chat, but it's kind of having those side conversations. Oh, tell me more about that idea, or, oh, I don't know about that. Can you tell me more
Yeah.
and expand upon that? Can you tell me more about the layout of a Twitter chat and how our future teachers can be successful in participating in one? Because oftentimes I think our students feel like, I don't have a lot of experience. Nobody really cares what I have to say. And we know that on Twitter, we're a friendly bunch, like Sarah Thomas likes to say. And we really are a family, and we do gain from each other's experience and ideas. But what advice do you have for someone who's never done a Twitter chat? How would they get started?
Yeah, I think the best thing to do is just maybe join in first and take a look around. It's like going to a cocktail party or any of these social events. We can't talk about that right now because I mean most people are at home. But in the past, when you went to you met up and you actually went to the social event, if you didn't know anybody, you would kind of just loiter and just try to mingle, see how people behaved, understand how people interact within the group, to get a feel of it. So I think the idea of what we call lurking, right? Just prepping, just observing, but not really saying anything. It is totally, it's allowed. It's more than welcome. When you come in, you just say hello, and most likely somebody will come and say hello as well. Somebody will just say, hey, come on in. Let yourself, if you need anything, say, don't be afraid, don't be shy to ask questions, and kind of give you some orientation about how to follow the thread. And another thing too, I think the big tip is not try to, let's say, follow everything and try to answer everything, because it's like a cascade, it's a waterfall, and you can't keep up. So if something catches your attention, yeah, if something catches your attention during the chat, because what happens, chats are normally organized around questions. There's a topic, let's say a main topic. Maybe it might be digital literacy, it might be teaching from home, it might be working with projects, and then they have three or four questions around that topic, which are posted, scheduled every 5, 8, or 10 minutes, and then people answer these questions, and they have what you call, as you mentioned, side conversations. So the most important thing is to just go with the flow, literally. But if something catches your attention, reply. Use the hashtag. That way, people would see what you have to say. So the most important thing is if you do participate, if you do chime in, use the hashtag that they're using, you know, and then just wait and see what people have to say, and follow, right? So if anything gets your attention, talk to that person. If you want to go back to it, maybe favorite it, you can go back and check. You can retweet it, but maybe the best thing is just to favorite it, right? And you go back and read. A lot of the chats as well, they organize what they call transcripts, which are like a record of everything that was tweeted during that hour of interaction, and they normally post that, where you can read. So it's easy to go back and read everything that was shared during the chat. So even if you miss something, that's the good part. You can go back and read it. I think that is one of the pluses of the Twitter chat, because most people do post a transcript. So it's very easy to go back and catch up, or even connect with people that you didn't see during the chat. Because if you think of going back to the idea of the let's say a ballroom or a cocktail party where people are all gathered, you can't talk to 50 people at the same time. So you're gonna miss people. But if you go back to the transcript and you see that, oh, this guy says something and maybe I could talk to him. And I send a message to you, I send a message to Julie, send a message to Sarah, and they would probably answer you back. So I think that's one of the good things about using the Twitter chat.
I love that in Twitter chats, not only are we connecting with others around the world on a specific topic, there's Twitter chats for literally
Everything.
everything you can
Mhm.
think of with teaching, gamification, STEAM, special
Exactly.
education, grade levels,
Mhm.
subject areas, new teachers, future teachers, higher ed. Yeah.
Parent communication. They talk about the relationship with parents and schools. You talk about everything. Cyberbullying. You name it. Whatever you want to think about. Lesson planning, language teaching. It goes on and on. Bilingual education and so on and so forth. So you name it.
What are some of your favorite chats? I know, a little bias there. NT2T, fabulous chat for new teachers for to Twitter. But what are some of your other go-to chats that you'd recommend some of our future educators checking out whenever they're bebopping on Twitter?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, over the years, 'cause I started off in 2009, and then got very active from 2013 on. I think, as you just mentioned, NT2T, which is New Teachers to Twitter, referring to teachers who have very little experience with Twitter, or the teachers who are starting out, right? So you have like the PT chat, which is pre-teacher tab, so pre-service teachers. You have Ed chat, which is pretty big. What that's big. That's probably one of the first. I think it's kind of like the forefathers of the Twitter chat. That's why it's really big. Then you have What is School altogether? What is School? Run by Craig Kemp, one of my buddies. I love of their chats. There's Teach Mindful, which is from Melissa. Her last name is always hard to pronounce, but her handle is Colliding with Science. She's great. She does lots of good stuff, and her chat is nice as well. What the other chat I could recommend? I think those are the big ones that I would kind of tell people to go to right now.
Professor doing future tea chat for future teachers. That's Monday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern. So there really is so much out there to help support our future teachers when it comes to connecting on Twitter. Stephan, before we end our conversation today, what other tips or strategies do you have for our educators out there listening today in regards to getting connected on Twitter and or
Right.
participating in a
Yeah. Well,
Twitter
just
chat?
before I forgot to mention one other chat was the NY Ed chat, which is organized by Carol Barcelona. She's so sweet. I really love talking to her, and I mean, she does great stuff with poetry. So I had to mention her chat. She's so supportive as well of MT2T. But yeah, I think the tips we could give here, I would start with, as I said, start slow and connect with two or three people. It's better not to maybe try and follow everybody at the same time. Focus on one or two, three, maybe three or four followers, and see how they do it. Also, I think it might be interesting to you to, if you're starting off as a teacher, on Fridays, people tend to use the hashtag FF, which is Follow Friday, and they tend to recommend other educators that you would want to follow. So that may be a good tip to work with. Go on this, take a look at what people are, who's recommending who, and then go to their profiles, look at what they're doing, because the profiles give you a bit of interest and shows you, well, okay, what this person is doing, and if they connect with you, and then start following, getting conversations, and as I said, participating in the chat. If you don't participate in the chat, at least follow the hashtag, because that way you might get some tips. Ask a question, put it out there, and use the hashtag, and as I said, people will probably get back to you. As it happened to me in about 7 years ago, I had no idea that somebody would actually answer that invitation, but they did, and it changed everything. Yeah, see, yeah. You think, well, why? Oh, why not? So I did it, and it worked. You see, so that's the tip I would give to people, because Twitter is like a portal. It opens up to other things. It shows you what other people are doing. You connect to people through, other means like Skype, which is Skype. You do other projects with Nearpod. You do Flipgrid. You do, you get to do a lot of educational chats. There's another chat I forgot to mention too, which is Global Ed Chat. How can I forget them? This is good on Thursdays. I forgot the time, but you just hashtag Global Ed Chat. Wonderful as well.
Excellent. Thank you. We talked about what a Twitter chat is, some guidelines to get started in participating in a Twitter chat, no matter if you're going to be a learner in there and just going to follow on the conversation, maybe follow a couple of people. The important parts of a Twitter chat is, don't worry about answering all the questions or finding all the tweets, because you can go back and find that transcript later, which is a really powerful tool for Twitter chats, for content and connecting with other teachers. And you named like at least a half dozen amazing chats for our future teacher friends to check out. Now, Stephan, how can my listeners reach out to you, whether if they have questions NT2T or questions about getting connected on Twitter?
Well, yeah, I mean, you can reach me on Twitter, either just a quick message or DM if you direct message me as well, right? My handle is there, STEPH, Steph, Working, which is WRKING. And we can talk, not just about Twitter. If you want to connect with people from Brazil, I'm based in Brazil. So if you're interested in talking to other teachers from Brazil, I will be glad to kind of make that go between and connect. Because a lot of times teachers want to maybe talk to other teachers in other parts of the world, but they don't feel as brave enough to do that. So if you guys are interested, come to talk to people from down here. We can talk. It'll be wonderful to talk and practice and connect with teachers. So whatever you need, let me know.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for that wonderful invitation to reach out and get connected with other educators down in Brazil. I think that's fantastic. Stephan, thank you for your time today. This was an awesome conversation.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the invitation. Thanks for having me. And let's see if, as I said, invitation is open. Let's keep in touch.
There you have it, EduMagicians. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and share it with your friends. For more EduMagic, check out sfessage.com and follow Dr. Sam on Twitter and Instagram @sfessage. Until next time, you have the EduMagic within you.